What's up, everyone? I hope you guys are having a great Wednesday, and you know what? I hope you're staying warm out there. No matter where you're at, under the sound of my voice, chances are it's probably pretty cold this morning. You know, where I'm at, it was a blustery 40 degrees when I went to warm my car up, and that was cold. And I know some of you back in Indy are judging me right now because a friend of mine texted me that it was -9 with a wind chill of 35 below zero. So if you're up in Indy, you're up north, hey, I just hope you stay warm and be safe out there. You know, as you look through my office window, you see that sunshine. I'm sure it's probably around 45 to 50 by now, which is still a little cold for me down here in Florida. You know, believe me, I'm grateful. That's the weather I get to have. But it is cold for us down here. You know, and it's funny because you know, I get made fun of a lot because I'm going to say 45 and 50 is cold. Meanwhile, you guys are literally in sub-zero. But it comes down to a matter of perspective, right? Perspective counts for a lot. And we could say that about a lot of different situations in life, that sometimes perspective, the way that you see things, the way that I see things, might be a bit different. But to us, it's very much real. Now, we can look at that through some of the challenges of life. You know, sometimes we can go through some difficult circumstances, which doesn't make them any less difficult. But sometimes what we need isn't a new circumstance, but sometimes what we need is a different perspective. You see, I'm sure maybe a number of you got to see this weekend at Rolex 24, Alex Zanardi coming back in the BMW. Now, he's been racing since the unfortunate accident, but to see him come back and to come back and to jump in that Beamer and race the 24 hours was inspiring. To hear his story, I remember the race like it was yesterday when that unfortunate situation happened. But what makes Zanardi's return just so incredible is his attitude. It's his perspective. You see, he said he wasn't glad that what happened to him. However, it was just inspiring to see his attitude towards where he is now and what all he can do with it. And really the same goes for us, you know, especially as followers of Christ, that no matter what happens to us in our daily lives, no matter what happens to us in our walk, God uses it for the good of our lives and He uses it for the good of others. And I know so many of you might be walking through situations going, Jason, how is this good? How in the world can I even see this as good? And believe me, I get it. I just had a friend of a friend go through suicide. I've seen sick kids and just some of the worst situations possible in mankind. And I'm not saying that all situations can be good. What I'm saying is sometimes we just need a matter of perspective. And, you know, Paul gives us that in Philippians. You know, he's writing this letter from a Roman prison. Now, for a lot of us, it's hard to imagine how bad a Roman prison really is. But let's just say in this time period, there was nothing worse than to be in a Roman prison. Now, Paul writes in Philippians 1, he says, I want you to know, brothers, that what has happened to me, getting locked up, has really served to advance the gospel so that it has become known throughout the whole imperial guard and to all the rest that my imprisonment is for Christ. And see, here's the thing. He's saying, you know what? I'm locked up, but here's what God has done with it. The whole Imperial Guard, like all the armies around me, has come to know Jesus or have learned who Jesus is. Whether or not they believe in Him or not, it's another story. But anyway, God's using it for a big impact. But what I love is what he goes on to say, and most of the brothers, having become confident in the Lord by my imprisonment, are much more bold to speak the word without fear. Really, what I want to get to today is sometimes our situations, they're tough. Frankly, there's no better word to describe it other than they suck. But God uses it. Not only does God use it to shape our own lives and impact our own lives, He uses it to impact those around us. Just like Paul, when he was locked up, he used that to impact the Imperial Guard. Just like Paul, when he was crying out in prison, the brothers, all the other followers of Christ who heard about his imprisonment were much more bold and confident in their walks with the Lord. They had an impact on their lives as well. And so today, I know it's cold, but maybe we just need a shift of perspective. Whatever situation you're walking through today, take a look, do some soul searching. Maybe all you need is a shift in perspective. Everyone, thanks for spending a few minutes today with us here at INDYCAR Ministry. Hey, the season is coming up right around the corner. Please, daily be in prayer for Chuck and I, for this ministry, for God to move through the 2019 season. Have a wonderful day.